Well, everyone, it looks like Bungie's actually going to do it. A weapon that many consider the worst gun in the game, unless you learn to master it, is going to get a nerf, and that is the No Land Beyond. Now, do I consider the weapon itself OP? No, not really. So why is it getting nerfed? Well, in my opinion, I feel like it's just because of the chain reaction of nerfs that have been continuing throughout these patches. Once you affect one thing, it affects another thing over time. And people even make jokes about this, but I've been seeing a lot lately with these patches. Basically, what they're going to do to No Land is add a flinching effect, just like all the other snipers. Now, do I consider this fair? In this meta, yes. But do I think it's a good meta? No, and I'll explain that. But first, let's talk about the No Land Beyond. The weapon is a primary sniper, so basically you have to sacrifice any sort of primary to use the No Land Beyond. And number two, a big peeve that people have about the weapon is its iron sights. People say that the reason why that they stay away from the weapon and why it's got a learning curve is the iron sights itself. It's not that great. The other thing is that it just is one of those weapons where it can be countered by people who just rush you, unless you just don't have good aim. Unless, of course, you have a sidearm. Most people will use a sidearm as their secondary buddy to help them out in those kind of situations. The weapon itself, you just don't consider OP. So again, why are they going to nerf the No Land then? Well, many consider the weapon just unfair because it doesn't flinch just like the other snipers. And I have to agree with them. Why is there a sniper rifle that's both fun and takes skill to use? It should be like all the other sniper rifles. It should be frustrating to use, not feel great or feel like you actually are skillful with the weapon. No, it should be frustrating, and that's basically what this meta has turned to. But am I saying that this meta overall is terrible? No, primaries are feeling really, really good right now, but when it comes to secondaries like snipers, shotguns, except for sidearms of course, and fusion rifles, things are just not feeling right now. Same thing goes to subclasses and some abilities for these subclasses. And the reason for that, in my opinion, is because of the unnecessary nerfs that they continue to do with these patches. I mean, just look at Blade Dancer. Why did they nerf Blade Dancer? It wasn't that OP. Same thing with Blink. No one complained about these things. And if we go back with Sunsinger as a perfect example, people were considering the Firebolt ridiculous not because of the damage over time overall. A lot of people were saying as a fair nerf, they should just allow the time that it's taking you out of the battle because of the burn ticking should go faster. As in, instead of being out of the battle for like 7 seconds burning, maybe like 3 or 4 seconds out of the battle. So it's doing the same damage, just quicker. But instead, Bungie went and nerfed the damage on that. And that was stupid because it made the super useless for a lot of players that originally enjoyed using that kind of setup. And now that there's an artifact that pretty much diminishes damage over time, yeah, not anyone's gonna really want to use that kind of loadout ever again now. And that's pretty much what these nerfs have been doing. It's been making a loadout that someone enjoyed now feel just frustrating. And that's pretty much what I see it as. I like to see Destiny to be fun, just feel good. I mean, that's the one reason why a lot of players are playing Destiny right now, is because the game just feels good. But with these nerfs, it just doesn't feel good in PvP or PvE. But when it comes to PvP, the way that they're nerfing special ammo in itself is not something people are enjoying. They love the feel of sniping someone in the head. They love the feel of using their shotgun from close range, going real fast, going through flanking positions and using their shotgun. Yeah, sure, it's ridiculous that people were running at you just with their shotgun, but that's why you buff primaries then, or you buff any other thing to counter it, not just remove the whole ability of jump shotgunning, because since they nerf the accuracy when you jump. These nerfs are just unnecessary to me. And a perfect example when the meta felt pretty good, except for Last Word and Thorn being pretty much the top dog during this time, was House of Wolves. There was no ridiculous flinch nerf to sniper rifles, shotguns were pretty much left alone, and primaries just felt good, except for some exceptions. Now, it just feels frustrating when you try and use any weapon that you originally enjoyed, and people get scared when they see their weapon on a list of possible changes, and no land's on that list, and people are not really happy about that, including myself, because I actually enjoy that weapon for good reasons. The flinching effect for sniper rifles, in my opinion, is ridiculous. Now, I understand that players were annoyed that they would shoot a sniper that's hard scoping, and they'll fire off like 2 or 3 shots on them first, and the hard scoper won't even really react to those hits and just take you out instantly. I can understand that, but how Bungie really goes when it comes to these situations where people are upset about this or that, they don't really look at a way where they look at both ends and find an equilibrium so that they're not making one end frustrated and one end be, well, I'm happy at least. That's pretty much what they did to snipers. Adding that flinching effect has really made sniping ridiculously frustrating for a lot of players, especially the casual snipers. When it comes to any competitive sniper, maybe they can deal with it. They adapt. A lot of players do, including myself. But when it comes to a lot of these casual players that are playing Destiny because it's just fun, it feels nice, they're frustrated at using some of these weapons because it's just not hitting that equilibrium where it's both fun but fair. And that is the reason why the Destiny fanbase to this day is still playing. Not because of the story, not because of the repetitive endgame content, because of the gameplay. The gameplay just feels good. Even in year 1, it just felt good. But with these patches, they pretty much started to harm what made Destiny so much fun. The gameplay. Back then, if there was a weapon that you enjoyed or a subclass setup that you enjoyed, it was doing its work. It was fun, it wasn't frustrating, and you didn't feel underpowered compared to a lot of other setups. Everyone had their own way of playing. But with these nerfs, it's pretty much forgotten what made Destiny such a great game. It's turned, hey, if you enjoy your loadout, use it everywhere. You'll love it no matter what, to, well, I mean, it's not as great as this one. And that sucks, because that's why I love this game. Everyone has the right to enjoy their setup, whether it be using a shotgun, a sniper, a certain primary, a certain subclass. Everyone has a reason to enjoy it. There is no reason to just go after it and nerf it when it just is unnecessary when it comes to balancing things out and making it fair for both ends. If it's going to balance things but make one end not enjoy their super anymore, maybe you should rethink your patch. It's just sad to see the No Land Beyond follow into this chain of nerfs that continue to happen over time. A weapon that I use to escape the frustration of all the other snipers and their flinching ability will now get the same frustration as well. And that is ridiculous. Destiny is very fast-paced, with smallish to medium-sized maps with a lot of objects in the way. The sniper rifle nerf just didn't make sense for the game. I mean, people use their snipers very aggressively, but ever since they added the flinching effect, more players are now passive with their snipers because they know that they're going to get outgunned in a close quarter match with their sniper rifle. It just ruined the fun for players who wanted to have that kind of playstyle. And that's the same with shotguns or any other weapon or subclass that got nerfed. The Destiny community has been speaking against these nerfs, and it's not because they hate this game, it's because they love this game. They don't want to see the most important thing about Destiny just go away, or just not have that same feeling as it used to have, and that it's gameplay. I feel like now is a perfect time for Bungie to involve their community a whole lot more when it comes to any changes that they decide to do to this game. I mean, you see a lot of other games do this where they have their player base actually test their patches before they're released. It would probably lead to less anger because people will actually be able to have a voice on these patches and actually see if there's any problems with any of the changes that they're going to do for the game with the patch. It's just a lot better to do it this way than just hide behind a curtain and then show everyone the patch notes and have everyone be screaming in your ear in the forums. That's just my opinion. Overall, I love Destiny. I just don't want to see it go down a horrible path, and if Bungie were to involve their community a lot more with these changes, I would be less concerned about Destiny going down that horrible path. But this is just my opinion. I would like to know yours as well in the comments down below. But thanks for listening. Chibi out.